Hey Leute, willkommen zurück zu Deutschflix. If you want to speak German fluently, you need to know how to use verbs correctly. And today we are going to master that together. So yeah, los geht's. Okay, so I've written here verb conjugation. Let's talk about this term called verb. So verb is nothing but a word that describes what the subject of a sentence is doing. For example, to speak is a verb, to write, to play, to watch. These are the examples of verbs. So verbs denote action. Now, what is conjugation? What is a verb conjugation? Now, in both English and German, verbs change based on the subject of the sentence, and this process is called conjugation. For example, in English, we say,
I dance, you dance, he dances. Why? Is he dancing more than me?
did you notice how only he, she, it adds extra s? But in German, every pronoun has a specific ending. So this conjugation is bit complex if I talk about European languages like German, Spanish, French, Italian, or Portuguese. Before starting with the conjugation of verbs, let's take a look at the concept of root and end. So let's take the example of the German verb spielen. Spielen means to play. Now, most of the time, it happens that in German language, verbs end with en. Now, this en is called ending. And whatever is left apart from en will be the root of the verb. And this is the concept of root or ending. Now, I'll give you one verb. You have to pause the video and let me know in the comment section where is the root, where is the ending. So let's take the example of trinken, which means to drink. So yeah, where's the root, where's the ending? Okay, so en is the ending. Now whatever is left will be our root. So drink is called root of the verb. So now that you have understood how to identify root and ending, we are good to go. So let's take the verb machen. So we are going to do the conjugation of the verb machen. Machen means to make something or to do something. Also, in the last episode, we saw the personal pronouns. What I'll do is I'm gonna write all the personal pronouns in sequence. So we have ich, du, er, sie, es. I'm writing them together. Then we have wir, ihr, sie, sie. Now what I'll do is I'll take the root. So in case of machen, mach will be the root. So I'll write the root vertically. So we have mach, 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 and I'll just copy paste this thing. So basically, I want to say I make, you make, he, she, it makes, we make, you all make, they make, you make. So for that, I want you all to memorize this golden rule called EST 1010. So my golden rule is EST 10 10. Now what I will do is I'll take this golden rule and I'm gonna write it vertically. So it becomes mache with ich, du machst, es macht, wir machen, ihr macht, sie machen. So what I have done is, I initially took the root of the verb, which is mach, and I took this golden rule and appended to the root vertically. And we are done with the conjugation. Now, ich mache means I make. Du machst, you make. Sie, es macht, he, she, it makes. Wir machen, we make. Ihr macht, you all make. Sie machen, they make. Sie machen, you make. Okay, so if you have understood this, I'm gonna give you two verbs and you have to conjugate it. So our first verb is spielen, which means to play. Spielen means to play. And then we have, let's take trinken, which means to, I think it's easy to memorize, to drink. So pause this video and write the conjugation and I'll show you the answers in 5 seconds. Now I'm gonna show you the conjugation of spielen and trinken. So we have ich spiele, du spielst, es spielt, wir spielen, ihr spielt, sie spielen. Ich trinke, du trinkst, es trinkt, wir trinken, ihr trinkt, sie trinken. I think you cannot see this part, so I'll just drag this a little. Yeah. Now let's take a look at more verbs. We will conjugate them together. Okay. So write all the pronouns in sequence. You can pause this video. Okay. Now let's take the verb finden. Finden is close to the English verb to find. Now again we will go step by step. So initially I'll take the root of the verb, which is find, because en will be the ending. So I'll just write the root vertically, find, 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 and I'll just copy paste this with other pronouns. Now I just have to take this golden rule and I just have to append it vertically. Okay, so this is the golden rule. So ich finde, do, we have to add st, then AZST we have to add, then en, then t, then en. Now see what happens is when you try to conjugate with do, no, pronunciation is bit troublesome. So do finst. So you are struggling with the pronunciation here, right? Now what we will do is, in order to make the pronunciation easier, I'll add extra e in between. So now it will be do findest. Now in case of AZS, any problem with the pronunciation? Yeah, do findet. So what I will do is I'll add another e, AZS, findet. Now with wir, no problem with the pronunciation, finden, ear, again just like AZS, let's add extra e in between. So AZS, findet, and ZZ, finden. So I think that irregularity, I mean adding extra e, that we do in case of to, AZS, and ear. Now in the same fashion, you have to conjugate the verb antworten. which means to answer. And also check if you can pronounce the conjugation perfectly with do, as, yes, and ear. So pause this video and write the conjugation, and then I'll show you the answer. Alright, so the conjugation of antworten, ich antworte, du antwortest. I hope you have added e here. Then as, yes, antwortet, wir antworten, ihr antwortet. I forgot to add t. Sie antworten. Okay, so we have to add extra e while conjugating with do, as, yes, and ear. But the thing is, how will we know where to add extra e? So let's write this rule together, that if the root of the verb ends with what? D or T, then we will add extra e. Is it like, do we have to add this extra e with all the pronouns? No. Then we will add extra e while conjugating with which pronouns? To, as, yes, and ear. So let me highlight this. Alright, now let's take a look at more verbs. Okay, so I want you all to pause this video and write all the pronouns in sequence, and we will conjugate the verb heißen, which means to be called. We will also conjugate the verb reisen, which means to travel, very important verb, because for most of us traveling is our hobby. And let's take one more verb, tanzen. I think now you can guess the meaning of tanzen. It is close to the English verb to dance. Now I want you all to write the conjugation, but I am pretty sure that you'll make some mistakes in the conjugation because we will have another rule in it. Okay, so I hope you have conjugated these verbs. So remember our golden rule. It is E, S, T, 10, 10. Remember it like a song. EST 10 10, EST 10 10. Okay. Now I'll just show you the pronouns in sequence and just the root of the verb. Okay. Now we will conjugate it together. So with ish, I'll say ish heiße. No problem at all. With do, we have to add st. But guys, remember the alphabet episode? This S set, this beta sort of thing is double S, right? Now, will it make any sense if we have triple S in this spelling? No, right? So what we will do is we will avoid this S and we will simply say to heist. So it will be to heist without any S. This spelling already has double S. So this S set is double S in German. Now with AZS we have to add T. AZS heist. Wir heißen, ihr heißt, sie heißen. So I think the problem is only with two. All right. Now we will conjugate the verb reisen, ich reise, and with do we have to add st. But wait a minute. If we have double s, then that means I can replace it with s set. So I am changing the alphabet. No, you can't do this. So what we will do is we will avoid this s from do and we will simply say do reist. But with other pronouns, it will be as it is. Er, sie, es reist, wir reisen, ihr reist, sie reisen. Now, if in case of tanzen, same thing. So, ich tanze, with do we add st. Now the pronunciation is troublesome. Du tanzt. So, what we will do is we will avoid this s. And we'll simply say du tanzt. Er, sie, es tanzt, wir tanzen, ihr tanzt, sie tanzen. Okay, so do we have any pattern here as well? Like when to avoid s while conjugating with do? Yes, we do have a pattern. So let's write a rule. So on the previous page, we saw if the root is ending with d or t, we will add extra e while conjugating with to, as, yes, and ear. Similarly, if the root ends with s set, s, or that set, any one of these three. So what we will do is we will drop s with 2. I'll also highlight this. So s set, s, or set, let's drop s while conjugation with 2. Okay, so now I will show you the conjugation of kochen, senden, and vermissen. Okay, so I have written all the personal pronouns in sequence, and there's no problem with the kochen. But in case of senden, since my root is ending in d, so I have added extra e with do, as, yes, and ear. Please pay attention here. And in case of vermissen, since my root is ending in s, so what I will do is I'll drop s while conjugation with do, and I'll simply say do vermisst. So here we have double s, double s. So now you can see instead of just one change, like in English, play becomes plays, in German the verb changes for almost every subject. But don't worry, regular verbs follow the same pattern. So once you learnt it, you can conjugate hundreds of verbs easily. Now, telling the conjugation verbally or maybe writing the conjugation not in a sequential manner might be troublesome. So I want you all to come up with some observation. So you can pause this video and write them down. Okay, so my first observation is that with wir and ZZ, are we really conjugating the verb? No, right? This is my base form of the verb, which is also called infinitive form. So I'm just writing infinitive form as it is. Wir machen, sie machen. So if I give you any random verb, let's take vermeiden, which means to avoid. Now conjugation of vermeiden according to wir and sie, it will be same. Vermeiden. Alright? So this will be our first observation, that with wir and sie, what we do is we take the infinitive form as it is. Okay. Now our second observation is that conjugation with er, sie, es and ihr appear to be same most of the time. That with er, sie, es and ihr, So conjugation, same. You can see here we have es macht, ihr macht, es spielt, ihr spielt, es trinkt, ihr trinkt. Now our third observation is how are we conjugating the verb with ish? What we are doing is we are taking the infinitive verb and we are dropping this n from it. So this is the conjugation with ish. Ich mache. Now for spielen, ich spiele. Trinken, ich trinke. And if I give you any verb, let's take schreiben. So all I have to do is drop this n. And the conjugation of schreiben with ish becomes schreibe. So you can note this, that with ish, what we do is we drop n from infinitive verb. And I guess now we are left with only do, and you cannot really do anything about do. All you have to do is you have to add st. That's it. Now you know how to conjugate regular verbs in German. And if this helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more German. And remember, the best way to learn is to hear these verbs in real conversation. So keep watching, keep practicing, and see you next time. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!
Like and subscribe.